Hey everyone, this is Lil already, and welcome back to Abstrakt Music Lab. Today we're going to talk about something that we hate with all our guts, which is writer's block. And I'm going to teach you today 5 techniques to make you go back to creating awesome tracks. I've been using these techniques myself, and some of my producer friends also use this, and I hope this can help yourself not only create better tracks, but also help you out when writer's block starts to kick in. I hope you like this video, and let's dive into Ableton. See you there. So we're here on Ableton now, and we're going to start with technique number 1, which is simply reversing a track that you really like. I'm going to use Inca, which is one of my tracks, so you can listen to it originally, and then we're going to listen to it inverted and see if you can come up with an idea from that. Let's listen to the original version of Inca. Inca is playing the root note, and then the 3rd and the 4th. If we invert it, it's gonna play the opposite, which is 4th, 3rd, and the main note. So let's listen to it. Again with the piano. But what if we change this? Instead of going 4th, 3rd, and root, what if we went 4th, 3rd, 2nd? Let's try it. I've created a melody out of this, and let's listen to how it sounds like. If we listen to them together, you're going to see that the initial 2 notes are exactly the same as Inca reverted. But these 2 notes, I've changed it to the way that I like. So instead of using Inca completely, I just used a little bit of Inca and changed the rest. And by using the reverse version of it, I'm making a new song, which I'm actually going to release it later. And that's the fun part of it. From one track, I created another, and now I have 2 tracks with the same melody as the root idea for the inspiration. But let's try a new example with this one. Let's listen to Overtone's remix of Prof and listen to how it sounds originally. Let's invert it. Bum 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 bum. And that's what I've created here in this new MIDI. I didn't come up with this idea from scratch. It's actually just inverting a track that I like and coming up with something out of it. What are the requirements for this technique to work? You should use breaks that are clean and empty. So no vocals, no major piano on top of it, just some chords, just some basic idea in the break. This way you invert it, and by inverting it, you'll have a new idea to use it yourself or to use it as an inspiration for one of your tracks. And this makes us go to technique number 2, which is actually using an acapella to guide you to the chords that you have to create. Let's listen to the acapella that we're working with today, which is Reload by Steve Angelo and Sebastian Ingrosso.
When night has become the day, they're sending you far away, so far away.
This acapella is in A minor, so I'm going to try to create some progressions in the A minor scale.
When night has become the day, they're sending you far away, so far away.
Idea number 1. Let's go to idea number 2.
When night has become the day, they're sending you far away, so, so far away.
Works as well. Let's go to idea number 3.
When night has become the day, they're sending you far away, so, so far away.
Not necessarily all the ideas will work, but at least you can try a lot of progressions, and by having the vocal on top, this is going to serve you as a guide, so this way you're not creating blindly, but you're creating with the guide. And once you like the chords that you've created, you just take the vocal away and use your vocal instead, and by now you have a new track with a new vocal that came from an inspiration from another track. This is something that I've learned from a great friend called Joe Freck. He was the winner of the UNSTUCK contest in 2018. And he taught me this in 2018 and I've been using ever since. And now I want you to use it as well on your tracks. This takes us to technique number 3, which is now using sample packs and using samples or preset packs to inspire you to just start something and then you just tweak it to the way you like it, or you just tweak it to make it a little bit different and created your own version of that sample. I brought in 2 samples, and these samples, one sounds like this. Really simple. This is the second sample. Really simple as well, but instead of using the way it is, I'm gonna make it 2 semitones down, and instead of going up as it goes over here, I'm going downwards instead. So let's listen to the progression that I've created from this sample. And here's where it's gonna sound different. Instead of going up, I'm gonna go down. So let's listen to it completely now. Something completely different from what we've listened before. It's not even in the same key, so probably people are not going to notice. And even if they notice, they'll see this end of your progression and the end of this sample, and they'll say, it's different here, it's different there. At least you made something of your own in this sample, and this makes your progression a lot more interesting and not some plain old pick a sample and use it directly on your progression. Let's go to the idea number 2. Instead of repeating itself, what if I change the second 2 bars over here? As is. It repeats, but mine doesn't. And now what I'm gonna also do is, instead of having it over there, I'm gonna probably put it 2 notes up. And again, something different, something that you've created yourself. And this will give you an arsenal of ideas because you probably have a lot of sample packs. And you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the loops over there and see if something inspires you to create your progressions as well. And now let's go to method number 4, which is simply looking at a picture and going with the mood of that picture. So look at this picture right here. This picture is a sunrise, but it could also be a sunset. And a sunrise gives me the sensation of something going up, and a sunset would give me the sensation of something going down. So if I'm writing for a sunrise, I have to write something that in the end goes up. But if I'm writing for a sunset, I'd go the opposite way. By looking at this picture, this is what I've came up with. goes up, I'm ready for the day, and that's it. But what if it was a sunset? Instead of having this last note going up, I would have the last note going down, as you can see it over here. So let's listen. This gives me an idea of something going down. But you don't have to create the full chords right from the beginning. Just start with the bass line. So if you're trying to create something, just... or... You can create several bass lines, but just looking at a picture. Just feel the sensation that this picture gives you and try to emulate the sensation into a song. And this takes us to the last technique, which is technique number 5, which is simply using a plugin. And the cool thing about this one is that you can combine the 5th technique with all of the techniques above. You can just, for example, pick this plugin from Plugin Boutique called Scalar, and it gives you an arsenal of chords that you can just go from this. Idea number 1. Idea number 2 now. It's really simple. You just choose the scale that you want to use. I always like the Dorian mode. And you can also choose the voicing. So for example, voicing 4. And combine this with the acapella, for example.
When night has become the day, they're sending you far away, so, so far away.
Or another
when
idea.
Everything starts to fade, you don't have to be afraid. No, you don't have to be afraid.
Again, not necessarily all ideas will work, but this is just a simple way that you can just create an idea from scratch. And the cool thing about Scalar, at least with Ableton, is that you can just pick this chord and drag it to create a MIDI clip directly from this. And you don't actually have to write this. You just go and grab this and go making your progression as you like. This is a cool trick that I've used sometimes as well to create my progressions. I always try to challenge myself to, for this song, I'm going to use technique number 1. For this one, I'm going to use technique number 2. So this way it keeps me fresh. It keeps me always away from writer's block. So by using these 5 techniques and by practicing these 5 techniques, you definitely stay a little bit further from writer's block. Sometimes it will kick in, but you can use these 5 ideas to make it go out and go back to creating awesome tracks that I know that you can do. So let me know which of the 5 techniques that you like the most in the comments below. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you loved it, and I see you in the next video. Ciao.